Primetime local news, serving the Lakeland and Midwest regions.
And now it's time for our look into the archives in this week's edition of Retrospect. We start our look back at This Week in Retrospect in 1994, with the then Lakeland College president losing a confidence vote.
A vote of confidence by faculty members of Lakeland College has shown the organization isn't impressed with college president Doug Schmidt. Out of 133 eligible voters, 121 cast a ballot, with only 33 members in favor of the president and 84, or over 70%, against the Lakeland leader. Faculty Association President Doug Miller says his group has these concerns with the president.
Style of management. It's a non-collegial style of management, all right? Non-participation of the other groups within the system, within the college itself. And we just do not feel that we have any input into what happens.
I'd disagree with that they aren't involved. First of all of our academic decisions go through academic council, in which is made up of equal representation of faculty, students, and administration. So any decisions on curriculum or program are put through that council.
The vote of confidence isn't the first survey that has slammed the president. A president survey last spring reflected much the same views as the latest vote, as the faculty feel Schmidt isn't doing his job effectively and the channels of communication between the two are closed.
Look, we have big problems and you can't deny them. The last survey is pretty conclusive evidence of that. And we feel that it's all on the president. I mean, he's been hired to run the institution. If he can't do it for whatever reason and he can't bring the masses together to work together, then I think you have to look at doing something with that individual.
That opinion, if you want to say, is not shared universally through the college. We've got a lot of positive staff. I've received, I guess the upside of all this is the number of calls I've received from the communities, especially Lloydminster and Vermilion, from students and from staff.
So there's definitely a difference of opinion here at Lakeland College. Faculty Association President Doug Miller feels his group's concerns are falling on deaf ears, while Lakeland President Doug Schmidt feels his doors are always open and he's doing a good job.
And now, in 1998, we meet two Lloydminster men with over a dozen reptiles.
These creatures seem to enjoy their home in the basement of a Lloydminster residence. They're the pets of the Border City snake men. Kim Ducker and Grant Armstrong own 13 different non-venomous snakes and would someday like to set up a reptile museum. They're hoping to dispel the myth that snakes are dangerous.
We're basically trying to get the point across that movies portray them as evil and they're always out to get you type of thing. Eh? And we're just trying to teach kids and anybody that'll listen that snakes are basically harmless. They're more scared of you than you are of them.
Both men have been bitten, although they say it wasn't the fault of the reptiles. Ducker says it's tough to find people who will support their idea.
I haven't met anybody that's actually said, well, that's a neat idea. They all look at me like I'm crazy. Because like I said, there's so many people out there with the I can't believe you actually got snakes in your house attitude. Eh? It's hard.
This is the tail end of the Border City snake man's pride and joy. She's a 15-foot albino Burmese python named Crystal.
Okay.
Crystal eats about 5 chickens a month and currently weighs around 45 pounds. However, she could grow to be 28 feet long and weigh around 200 pounds. Ducker says the best way for people to overcome their fear is to get close to the creatures.
You really have to handle them to get to trust them, you know, because it's one thing to say that they're harmless, but it's another to actually handle them and show them. We've had people come in that wouldn't even come into the house to begin with. And then once we coaxed them in and then talked them into handling a snake, I couldn't let them release it. They wouldn't let go.
This has been our week in Retrospect.
Retrospect this week is brought to you by Webb's Ford. Worth your while to drive the extra mile. Webb's Ford in Vermilion.
From January to March, kids and families had the chance to learn different winter activities while also connecting with other families in the border city. Our Abby St. John has more.
The wrap-up for this year's Wintergration event took place on Friday. The event was put on through Lloyd and Area Drug Strategy Committee, who received a grant from Sask Lotteries.
We started off with skating at the Service Sports Center, and so we had 3 sessions for about 20 kids per session, and we had the local community get together. We had the RCMP help the kids learn how to skate. We had a girls' AAA sports team come out, and they helped the kids learn how to skate. And then we had skiing at Mount Joy. We had 3 different sessions going out there. And then curling at the curling sports center here. And then we had snowshoeing from the Cultural and Science Center.
Wintergration was also a great way for members of the community to connect with newcomers to Lloyd and families from different cultures and backgrounds.
Well, for us, it's very important. It's like, especially for us that came from a different country, right? It's good to connect with them and know their different cultures and their values. So, you know, it's good to have impact with that one, especially with our children, because they meet at schools and, you know, at the park. So it's very important that they get along and then they understand each other's values.
You will see the beauty of diversity and multicultural, like how it molds us, that we cannot just grow in one culture, but we also can grow in multicultural.
The organizers of this event have seen a great turnout to all the activities they've held since January.
We've had probably about 65 or so families join us from Lloydminster, from the community. And then in all of that, we have anywhere from 95 to about 100 kids in the last 2 months that we've held all of these activities.
The most important part of Wintergration was to get kids outside away from electronics for a few hours and experience new activities they may have never tried.
They're building castles through snows, and it's just like you will realize that their mind is very creative, and you will be amazed too. Like, it's not just about gadgets nowadays as a parent, so it's always fun, and it's very worth it.
Abby St. John, Primetime Local News.
And now it's time for us to check in with Shelby Clark, who has a look at our evening weather forecast.
Thank you so much, Mr. Jace Mackey. Yes, now taking a first look at your weather forecast here in the border city. We are just sitting at -6 with that wind chill feeling around -13. I think we were kind of expecting a slightly warmer day today, but you know, starting off the week isn't too bad with that single digit, and we have been seeing a lot more sun peeking behind those clouds as we went through the day. You know, it probably started around noon to 1 p.m. when we started to finally see that overcast kind of stop and see that sun start to peek out, and that definitely helped warm things up. So hopefully everybody is enjoying their day, because we are going to be seeing these single digits continue on through the week, and you know, definitely seeing some nicer conditions compared to what we have been seeing. Looking at our school day forecast for tomorrow for all the kiddos out there, starting off with those double digits at -10. So go through the day around recess lunchtime, it'll start to definitely warm up to around -9, -6, and it will be hitting -4 by the time the school day is out. So that definitely will be some nicer conditions for them by the time they are out of class. Switching over to temperatures across the region for Alberta and Saskatchewan. On the Alberta side, most spots are following suit with us here in the border city. Most around -4 to -6 degrees that we are looking at, and some are looking slightly warmer. We are seeing a lot of -2s for Bonnyville, Cold Lake, and down in Wainwright. -3 over in Vegreville, while there's just that 0 mark there in Lac La Biche, and over in Edmonton, looking at the nicest condition compared to the rest was 6 degrees. So Edmonton is beating out everybody once again. Switching over to our Saskatchewan side, they are kind of matching with us for our conditions on our Alberta side, with all spots seeing those minus points. They aren't seeing any with those plus conditions, but that's okay. Still looking at those single digits. Most are seeing around -2 to -4 degrees, which is very nice. When we go up at Lauren, they start to slightly cool down more with -6 in Maidstone and North Battleford, and Macklin is just at -7. North Battleford will be going down to a low of -12. So even though they are seeing slightly cooler conditions for today, matching with more with us here in the border city. For tonight, they will be going down to that low of -12. So not cooling down by too much, and they won't be seeing any crazy conditions. Going to be expecting a calm night for North Battleford. Then their daytime high tomorrow for their Tuesday, -6. So kind of expecting the same as what they are sitting at right now, and a mixture of some sun and cloud. Going over to Cold Lake, they will be going down to low -9, so not cooling down by too much, still seeing that single digit, although condition-wise, they are going to be expecting a high chance of some flurries, 1 to 3 centimeters, so be prepared for people in Cold Lake, have those shovels ready. And then for their daytime high for tomorrow and Tuesday, -1, so beautiful temperature for sure, and a mixture of some sun and cloud, hopefully a little bit more sun peeking behind those clouds. For us here in the border city, we will be going down to low of -11, so we will be hitting those double digits, but you know, still -11 isn't too bad for our evening low temperature, although we will be expecting some flurries at times, so be prepared. We won't be seeing too much snowfall, won't really need to be shoveling nothing, but you know, we are going to be seeing some small flurries. Then for our daytime high tomorrow, -3, so that single digit, we are expecting another beautiful day tomorrow, I would say, for our Tuesday. And now ending off with looking at one of your weather photo submissions. Thank you to everyone that's submitted so far. You can continue to do so. I will use them. This one is from Trisha Hunter. Gorgeous shot here. This one's really cool looking. Love to see it. Thank you, Trisha. That's all I have for now. We'll go over to Jace.
Thanks for that, Shelby. After the break, we have more on the high price of Saskatchewan's travel nurse plan. After a slightly confusing winter season, conditions seem to be finally warming up. Our Shelby Clark spoke with meteorologist Peter Quinlan on what's expected for the next couple of months and how this summer could be a scorcher.
Joining us today for Primetime Local News is classic meteorologist with Global News, Peter Quinlan. Thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today, Peter.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Shelby.
Of course, no problem, because we were just speaking on this, that how we spoke before, as the winter season was, you know, we were kind of in the peak of it. We were speaking on a polar vortex and how we could possibly expect some of those conditions to reach us a bit more in, you know, January, February, a little bit more into March. So now that we are here, do you think that we've been through the worst of it and things are starting to warm up?
Yes, I think we have been through by far the worst of it in Lloydminster. Actually, December was way below average. January as well, quite a bit below average, not quite as much as December was. And then things leveled out a little bit in February. We were just about a degree colder than normal. March has been colder than average, but usually we see a warm up in March, so it may have been feeling a little bit milder, but usually the second half of March is a lot warmer. So we're through the worst of it in terms of the cold conditions. We just haven't seen much moisture out there this winter, so it's not good news heading into the growing season.
Yeah, and I was just going to say, for previous winter seasons, we were kind of speaking on this, of course, with the polar vortex talk and whatnot, but with seeing these conditions kind of warm up, would you say that we've probably seen the coolest winter season in quite a while in previous years, or has it been, you know, actually quite warm?
It has been a cooler than average winter, and actually we've had a La Nina pattern, which is typically a colder than normal winter in the Lloydminster area for the past 3 winters now. So we've kind of been with this trend for the last little while. Definitely December, January, way colder than average. We have had some colder than average months over the past few years, though. So it is fairly close to what we've seen over the last few winters. In terms of extreme cold days where we see those extreme cold warnings, it hasn't been as bad as we've seen over previous years.
And for what's coming up here with, like, you know, you said the second half of March, you know, usually we see some things warm up quite a bit as we head more into April and whatnot. So do you think we could expect to see some plus temperatures starting to make their way?
Yeah, it does look like we will see those positive temperatures, possibly even by the end of this first week of spring. So there is things to look forward to. It'll be just above the freezing mark, but that's going to be enough to start that snowpack melt. And we do measure temperatures about 2 meters in the air. So sometimes near the ground, when it's even -3 or -4, up 2 meters in the air, near the ground, it's actually above freezing. And sometimes those darker pavement surfaces does really accelerate that melt. So you can look forward to more melting, maybe clear those drains away, clear the snow away from your drains. Don't clear the drains. You might get in trouble for that as we get into this melt, so we don't see as much ice in the mornings.
I know there's been lots of talk, you know, if you even speak about weather conditions or how it looks outside with people around, they are saying this winter season has just been so, like, such fluctuating temperatures. Why would you say that has been happening for this year?
Yeah, so we've been seeing a pull of the jet stream further north and then further south. We're actually moving out of this La Nina pattern and we're moving into potentially El Nino pattern, which means next winter could be warmer than average. It could also be drier than normal. And we also could be in for a pretty hot summer. That's what the seasonal forecast models are indicating. So we're starting to nudge toward that. So that kind of has climate implications around the world. And that's also why we're starting to see this kind of yo-yo effect in terms of those temperatures.
Yeah, so what you're saying is for kind of ending off March, going into April and maybe even May, we will be seeing those plus temperatures, hopefully get some more moisture, but we can expect it to warm up quite a bit.
Yes, exactly. So lots to look forward to. If you like the heat, this could be a good summer for you.
Awesome. I know I like the heat, but I know there is people out there that aren't a big fan of it. I definitely like it compared to winter season. So that's really
Yeah.
good to hear. I'm glad we're able to check in. Is there anything else you want to add, Peter, that I may have missed out on?
I think that pretty much covers it. Just watch the moisture levels in the soil. We only had around 14% of the normal moisture we would see throughout meteorological winter. So that's not what we really want to see heading into the growing season, especially as we forecast a drier than normal summer. So that'll be something we're watching on the horizon.
All right, perfect, perfect. Well, it's always really nice speaking with you, Peter, and getting a nice catch up and seeing what's ahead for us. But I'm glad to see that we got some good news ahead for everybody that likes the heat. So once
Yes.
again, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Shelby.
And now let's take a look at today's agriculture prices. As we turn to sports now, the Bobcats played Game 6 against the Pontiacs in the playoffs this past weekend. Here's Callan Dunlop with more.
The Bobcats look to make a Game 7 out of their physical series against the Pontiacs. Period 1 saw the Bobcats take a 1-goal lead walking into the first intermission. But the Pontiacs scored 3 straight in the second to rip the momentum, leading to a final score of 5-2. Despite losing the series, Coach is overall pleased by the game's turnout.
I think that was the driving force because guys won a couple games and crowds, drew bigger. And when you're over 1,000 people, I think ultimately that was the driving force that fueled our guys. And then success was created off of that. So proud of that and thankful for the support that we do have here. We threw everything at them, and that's, six hard games. I thought that we proved to a lot of people that we were more than capable on the ice in every shift. And at the end of the day, you can't change anything. We made adjustments and we did what we could, but we pushed and we pushed hard, and we came up on the short end.
With the season ending for the Bobcats, that sees a new group of players in and an old group head out.
I think whoever the captain goes to, this organization's in great hands. We have really good leaders in there. Obviously some 20-year-olds that are leaving, but we have 19, 18, 17-year-olds that are great leaders, and they're going to do great things for this organization. I have no doubt about that. So I think whoever it is, they're going to do a great job and wear the Bobcat crest proud. It's been an honor, really, to show up here every day, play in front of my hometown. It's been great, and really appreciate Nigel giving me the chance to come in here. And it's been guys I've played with for 4 years now, and they're brothers to me, and it's been great.
The Bobcats will be hosting the 2022-2023 awards show at the Civic this Tuesday at 6 p.m. Callan Dunlop, Primetime, local news.
And now let's check in once again with Shelby Clark, who has another look at our evening weather forecast.
Thanks again so much there, Mr. Jace Mackey. Yes, now taking another extended look at your weather forecast. We will be starting off with our central zone of the provinces, and we are looking a lot warmer from what we have been seeing last week. We are, of course, seeing those plus temperatures. Cold Lake, unfortunately, at -2, but still seeing that single digit. The rest have warmed up from there, and we're even getting closer to that double-digit point with 10 degrees. 8 degrees over in Edson and Jasper, so they are looking the warmest. We were just hitting that 7 for Whitecourt, 6 degrees for Edmonton and Rocky Mountain House, and then Athabasca Celsius just at 5, and down in Red Deer, they are slightly cooler, just at that 2 mark, but you know, all spots are seeing those plus temperatures, so can't really complain. So we head over to our Saskatchewan side now in our central area. They are looking a lot cooler compared to our Alberta side. They do not see any plus temperatures. They are in those minus points, so they're matching with us more here in the border city. -6 for North Battleford, while it's also -6 in Saskatoon, and the rest are looking slightly cooler with -7, -8 for Prince Albert and Melfort, and then Meadow Lake is slightly warmer, just at -3. But now as you go over to our northern zone, actually they aren't looking as cool as we would expect them to see for sure. Some spots are seeing those double digits with that -10 and -12 for Wollaston Lake and Flin Flon, but the rest are seeing those single digits on our Saskatchewan side. -8, -9 for South End and Stony Rapids. They are probably the coolest, getting closer to those double digits, and the rest are just seeing between -5 to -6. So not looking too bad on our Saskatchewan side in our northern zone. And now as we go back over to our Alberta side in our northern zone to kind of check them out, we are still seeing some slightly warmer conditions in these areas here compared to the rest. We were just hitting -1 there for high level, while it is -7, -8 that we are seeing the coolest condition on our Alberta side, and that's there in Fort Chipewyan. The west are seeing those plus temperatures. Grand Prairie is just hitting that 0 mark, and it is 1 and 2 degrees for Peace River and Slave Lake. So they are looking slightly warmer, but of course not as warm as our Alberta side in our central area. Going over to our southern zone, they are looking slightly warmer, but they aren't seeing as warm conditions as what we are once again seeing in our central zone. 0 and 1 degree mark for Lethbridge and Medicine Hat, while it's 2 and 5 for Calgary and Banff. Coronation is still continuing on that cool track. We're seeing the coolest compared with the rest at -6 degrees. Now as we go over to our Saskatchewan side here in our southern zone, they are looking slightly cooler as well, but you know, they have warmed up slightly from what they were looking at last week, as they were seeing even closer to those -20s. Now they are back to those single digits. -9 seems to be the most popular condition on our Saskatchewan side here, and Moose Jaw and Regina are just at -7 and -8 degrees. But now as we look at some overnight temperatures that we will expect in our surrounding areas, we aren't looking too bad with these temperatures. It's going to be the conditions that are going to quite hit us pretty hard for these surrounding spots. As you can see, all these spots are expecting a low of -10 to -11 degrees. That seems to be the most common trend that we will be expecting tonight for our evening low temperature. But all of these spots are expecting to see those high chances of some flurries. Between 60, 65 to around 90 degrees is what we are seeing in all these areas. 2 to 4 centimeters is expected for Isle Cross for their snow tonight. 3 to 6 that Meadow Lake will be seeing tonight. And then we got with Paradise Hill 1 to 3 centimeters. And I think the rest are going to be matching with us here more in the border city, with expecting around just 1, maybe 2 centimeters of some snowfall. So for most, it will be quite light tonight. I would say, have the shovels ready, but I'm assuming it'll probably be melting down pretty quick as we head into tomorrow. Looking at our Tuesday here in the border city, we will be starting off with those double digits at -10, and for our daytime high through mid-afternoon, we will be hitting that -3, so that will be a beautiful temperature indeed. And we only will be cooling down to around -9 tomorrow evening, so we are going to be expecting a beautiful day tomorrow, I would say, for us here in the border city. Now, as you look a little bit more past Tuesday, we will be seeing that tomorrow. Wednesday, -3 once again for our daytime high, although a mixture of some sun and clouds, so we are going to be expecting a sunnier day on Wednesday. And as we continue into Thursday, we are even going to warm up to that +degree mark. Woo, beautiful, beautiful. So glad we are finally seeing those plus temperatures. Jace is pretty excited over there. And we are expecting a sunny day on Thursday as well. So please make sure, everybody, to get out there and enjoy these nice conditions. That's all I have for now. I'm Jace Mackey. We'll have more news coming up for you after the break.
So today I'm here with Kimberly from the Olive Tree about their upcoming boutique night. So Kimberly, do you want to tell us just a little bit more about this, what boutique night is?
Yes, so the Olive Tree has a boutique night once a year, and we've named it 100 West. And so this boutique night, we take all of our best donations and we save them up for this one night where we really blow them out at an incredible savings for everybody. And it's a wonderful night, and everybody gets really great deals.
Awesome. And these items here that they'll be coming out on boutique night, are they going to be like of a different quality than the normal clothing, or of like a different brand?
They are all boutique items, so we have a large amount of Lululemon items. Most of them, either brand new or gently used at incredible discounts. So like you can find Lululemon leggings will be $20 that evening, and tank tops that would normally be like $80 are $15. We also have kind of haute couture items. We've got purses, we've got shoes, we've got men's suits, we've got items that are brand new that have been donated from different businesses here in town. So we've got loads of brand new Levi jeans. We've got shoes that have been donated generously from some of the shoe stores in town, and suits that have been donated from generous businesses. And just about anything you can think of, we probably have in men's and women's. And then we have a little bit of children's Aviva and triple flip clothing, but the majority of it would be women's clothing.
And for this event itself, can you tell us like when and where it'll be happening?
So it's happening next Thursday, actually, in the community center at the Olive Tree from 5 o'clock till 8 o'clock. And it is one night only during the year, so you don't want to miss it. You probably want to tell your friends, and we hope that you come.
Excellent. And is this event like annual, or is this something that's new that you guys are putting out?
So it has been an annual event. During COVID, we had paused it, so we have a back leg of items. So there's more items this year than there was in past years. So you definitely want to come and see what you can find.
Excellent. And this place itself, will there be more staff? Will there be people there that'll like help it run through and have like a faster sort of day?
Yes, so we will be having staff there. We'll have drinks, and we've got little snacks. So we have like macaroons and that sort of thing. So it's kind of like just what it would be like if you were to visit a boutique, but more like warehouse style, because there's a lot more items to choose from.
Awesome. And for this event itself, will there be anything in particular that you guys are very excited about? Something that you guys would like to explain that I possibly haven't brought up in conversation yet?
I don't think so. We have a lot of higher end items as well. So like I've got some vintage Hudson Bay jackets. We've got items that you might find in exclusive stores that you can't possibly find here in town. We've got some higher end watches and shoes, boutique items that you wouldn't find generally here in town.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, that should be all the questions I have to ask, Kimberly. Thank you so much for coming in the studio today.
Thank you so much.
Furniture set and design supplied by Furniture Gallery and Furniture House, downtown Lloydminster.
Today we have Gordon King, the Vice Chair of the Spring Sport and Leisure Show, which will be taking place this weekend at the Lloydminster Exhibition. And so thank you so much for being with us today, Gordon.
Thanks for having me.
And so Gordon, tell me a little bit about what exactly we are going to see at the Spring and Sports Show, kind of what kind of vendors and events will be taking place this weekend.
So we got some RVs and campers that will be here. We're going to have some boats and motorcycles and ATVs and stuff like that. Some lawn care, landscaping businesses here promoting what they have to offer. Some cabin and home renovation stuff, and hot tubs, and a few other little trinkets here and there.
And so Gordon, tell me a little bit about where everything is going to be located during the show, and how big the show is going to be, and how much of the Lloyd X you guys are going to be taking up with it.
So we have the Saskatchewan building booked up. The Alberta building is where all the campers will be. And then in the Dick Jones Sales Pavilion, we have the Reptile Show for the entertainment on Saturday and Sunday, with showings at 11, 1, and 3.
And then Gordon, tell me a little bit more about this reptile show that you guys are going to be having on Saturday and Sunday.
We got a company bringing up some reptiles here. I'm not exactly sure what they all got, but they do have where you can have a meet and greet with them, I believe. and get to see some different kind of reptiles that we have out in the world. That's 3 times a day there, like I said, on Saturday and Sunday.
And so, Gordon, how much will it cost for people to attend the event, and where they can get tickets, or if they can just buy them at the door?
You can get tickets at the door. Adults are $10, 12 and under are free. Friday, the show begins at 10 a.m. and runs until 8 p.m. Saturday, we're here from 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. And then Sunday, we're here from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Thank you so much for all the information today, Gordon, and we hope you guys have a wonderful event and weekend.
Thank you very much. Come on out and see some reptiles.
And that's our show on this Monday night. Thank you all for starting your week with us. Have a great night, and we'll see you here again tomorrow.